Welcome, traveler of the stars. You've arrived at The Infinite Scientist, where science dreams in the language of the cosmos. Tonight, we drift through the quiet corridors of creation into the stillness between atoms, where silence hums with the secret music of everything. If you find beauty in the mysteries of the universe, let your curiosity rest here and dream with us beneath the stars. Far beyond the reach of sight or sound, there exists a space so small and yet so infinite that even time seems to hesitate there. It is the silence between atoms, a place so empty that nothing should exist within it. And yet, somehow, everything does. Picture it, the vast interiors of matter like cathedrals of invisible energy. Within an atom, the nucleus sits like a tiny sun, dense and glowing with the weight of existence, while electrons drift around it, not as solid travelers, but as whispers, probabilities, clouds of potential. Between them stretches an emptiness so vast that if an atom were the size of the Earth, its nucleus would be smaller than a marble. And yet this emptiness is not void. It trembles, it breathes. It hums with quiet motion. Every particle, every fragment of existence wavers in constant conversation with the unseen field that holds it. The silence between atoms is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of waiting. Within it, forces weave reality together. The electromagnetic fields that cradle electrons in their orbits, the strong nuclear force binding protons with invisible glue, the delicate balance that keeps chaos from consuming everything. If you could shrink yourself down and drift into that stillness, you would not find walls or boundaries. You would find energy curling like mist, space folding into itself, and light suspended between being and not being. The emptiness would feel alive, as if the entire universe were whispering beneath your fingertips. You'd realize that what we call solid is mostly nothing, and what we call nothing is mostly alive. Scientists once believed that the atom was the indivisible heart of matter, a perfect little sphere of substance. But when they looked closer, they found not a structure, but a story. The deeper they went, the less thing there was to find. At the heart of every atom lies not a particle, but a probability. Not certainty, but rhythm. Reality became less like a machine and more like a dream. This silence between atoms is the same silence that stretches between the stars. Both are made of the same mystery, a vast sea of unseen energy that refuses to be truly empty. What we think of as matter is only a ripple on that sea, a brief shimmering in the stillness. It's as though existence is a song, and the silence between atoms is the pause between notes, the quiet that gives meaning to sound. There's something humbling in that thought, that everything you can touch, every stone, every breath, every heartbeat, is built mostly from nothing. Your body, the mountains, the oceans, the air, all are 99.999% empty space. But it is within this emptiness that the miracle happens. Forces dance in balance, particles hum in harmony. The universe builds form out of silence. The stillness between atoms teaches us that emptiness is not absence. It is potential. Just as the space between thoughts gives birth to clarity, and the silence between breaths gives birth to calm, so too does the space within matter give birth to all creation. The same balance that lets electrons drift around their nucleus without collapsing is what allows galaxies to spin and hearts to beat. Stillness is not a lack of motion, it is motion held perfectly in peace. Imagine standing in a dark room, holding a single candle. The flame flickers, and in that small glow, shadows stretch and bend. The air seems still, yet every molecule is dancing. That's what the quantum silence feels like, full of hidden movement, full of breath, even when nothing seems to stir. Every atom in your body carries this quiet music. Every cell hums with the ancient rhythm of the universe, finding balance between presence and possibility. And maybe that's why silence soothes us, because on some level we recognize it. It is what we're made of. Beneath our thoughts and fears, beneath the noise of life, we are built from stillness. The same stillness that exists between the particles of creation. Every moment of quiet connects us back to that origin, the vast, unseen world where everything is waiting to become. In that way, to listen to silence is to listen to the story of existence itself. It reminds us that we don't have to fill every space, that the pauses are part of the song. The universe doesn't rush. It breathes, expands, contracts, and rests in its own rhythm. Within every pause, there's a universe being born. An atom whispering to its neighbor, a particle wondering if it exists. As you drift now through this invisible ocean of stillness, imagine the atoms in your hands, each one holding a miniature cosmos, each one echoing with the same quiet pulse that began with the Big Bang. They are ancient, recycled, eternal. The carbon in your body once burned in the heart of a star. The oxygen you breathe once floated through interstellar clouds. And between each of those atoms lies silence. Not the silence of nothing, but the silence of becoming. If you close your eyes, you can almost feel it. That subtle hum that connects everything to everything else. The silence between atoms is the breath of the universe itself, rising and falling without sound, holding together galaxies, lives, and dreams. And as this thought softens into calm, the universe leans closer, whispering through the spaces between your atoms, between your thoughts. Be still. You are part of this silence too. Light is the oldest traveler in the universe. It has crossed the deep oceans of space since before there were eyes to see it, or names to call it by. It carries within it the first story ever told. The story of creation written in brightness and shadow. But when you look closely, when you follow a single photon down to its smallest truth, you find that light is not one thing at all. It forgets what it is the moment you try to understand it. In the beginning, scientists believed light was made of waves, ripples moving through the ether like sound through air. Then experiments revealed something impossible. Sometimes light behaved like tiny particles, distinct and countable, striking screens like raindrops. When we tried to see it as a wave, it spread and shimmered. When we tried to measure it as a particle, it became one. Light was both and neither. It moved through space not as a thing but as a question. If you were to hold a beam of light in your hands, if such a thing could be done, it would not rest still or choose a form. It would flicker between being everywhere and somewhere, between being smooth like water and sharp like stone. It would whisper, "I am possibility." To see light as both particle and wave is to see the universe balancing on a paradox. A photon, a single quanta of light, behaves as a wave when no one watches, spreading itself like a ghost over many paths at once. But the moment an observer looks, when we choose to measure it, the wave collapses. It chooses. It becomes a particle, specific and precise. It is as if the act of being seen forces light to remember itself. And so light forgets its shape until we look at it. The cosmos itself seems to wait for our eyes to open. There is a strange beauty in that idea. It tells us that the universe does not exist as a fixed picture, but as a painting still in progress, its lines redrawn every time awareness meets matter. The photon, that smallest piece of light, travels as a wave of probabilities, each possibility waiting patiently for attention. Only when noticed does it settle into form. Light teaches us that existence is participatory. The world is not merely observed, it is co-created. Our perception folds the possibilities into reality, as if the act of noticing is itself a brushstroke upon the canvas of space and time. But beyond the experiment, beyond equations and instruments, there's a deeper question. What does this mean for us? Perhaps the nature of light is a reflection of our own being. We too change when observed. We shift, we adapt, we define ourselves by interaction. The self is not something solid. It's a pattern, a wave of potential that collapses into a story only when consciousness touches it. Each of us carries a spectrum inside, a shifting light that forgets its shape until it is met with understanding. Light travels at the fastest possible speed, yet it never experiences time. For a photon, there is no before and after, no journey from here to there. The moment it leaves a star and the moment it enters your eye are the same instant. To light, the entire history of the universe is one continuous now. It does not age, it does not wait, it simply is. And perhaps that is the most meditative truth of all, that light, in forgetting its shape, also forgets time. It exists in eternal presence. When you sit quietly, when your mind begins to soften and your thoughts slow, you may feel something similar. A stillness that lives outside of minutes and hours. A timeless awareness shining softly behind your eyes. That too is light. Not physical light, but the same essence. A consciousness that doesn't move but illuminates. In every sunrise, light paints the world into being. In every shadow, it hides its own reflection. It is the rhythm of appearance and disappearance, the pulse of duality that gives life its texture. And yet, within that duality lies unity. Wave and particle are not enemies. They are two languages of the same truth. The universe speaks in both. Imagine now the first dawn in cosmic history, when the universe cooled enough for light to break free from matter. The fog lifted, and suddenly the cosmos could see itself. That was the moment vision was born. Light, having traveled through the chaos of creation, began its endless journey outward, revealing galaxies, shaping time, and tracing the outlines of everything that would ever be. Even now, that ancient light drifts through space, billions of years old, carrying messages from the beginning. Some of it, faint and weary, falls gently upon your skin every morning. You are touched daily by the memory of the universe's awakening. But light is not just illumination, it is conversation. When it meets matter, it tells us where things are, how far, how hot, how alive. It dances upon surfaces, bends around gravity, and stretches as the universe expands. Through it, the cosmos speaks to itself, whispering across billions of light years, "I am still here." And within us, light takes another form. The impulses in our nerves, the firing of our neurons are electrical storms, waves of light slowed and held within flesh. Every thought, every dream, every flicker of awareness is born from the same radiance that once poured from the stars. To think is to shimmer, to feel is to glow. You are not separate from the light, you are a fragment of its remembering. So when light forgets its shape, perhaps it is not confusion, perhaps it is freedom. In its unformed state, it can become anything. It teaches us that to be undefined is not to be lost, but to be infinite. The photon that passes through the void has no edges, no mass, no time. And yet it carries the power to shape worlds, to bloom galaxies, to ignite the warmth of every life. We often seek certainty, wishing to hold the world in our hands, to see it as fixed and known. But light shows us a gentler truth, that life is at its most beautiful when it refuses to stay still. The mystery is not an obstacle, it is the essence. And so, as we drift through this chapter, let us remember the lesson hidden in the shimmer of light, that existence itself is a balance between knowing and not knowing, between form and formlessness, between being seen and being free. For even now, the photons that left distant stars long before you were born are arriving at this very moment, completing journeys of billions of years to meet your gaze. And in that meeting, you, the observer, and light, the wanderer, The universe remembers itself again. In that moment, light finds its shape once more. Reality, when seen through the eyes of quantum physics, no longer feels solid. It trembles, it flickers, it breathes in rhythms too soft for the human mind to hear. The closer we look, the more the world begins to resemble a thought instead of a thing, a dream that hums beneath the surface of perception. This is the hidden pulse of probability, the quiet heartbeat that drives everything that exists. Imagine holding a single electron in your thoughts. Where is it at this moment? The truth is, we cannot say. We can only speak in likelihoods, soft ripples of maybe. The electron might be here, or there, or anywhere along a spectrum of possibility. It doesn't occupy one spot until something, or someone, looks. Until that moment, it drifts in a haze of uncertainty, like a sigh suspended between breaths. This is the strange promise of the quantum world, that nothing is truly fixed. Reality does not unfold like a clock, but like a sea, a field of endless probabilities gently swaying beneath invisible winds. What we call matter is the foam that rises to the surface when probability collapses into being. Every moment, every breath, every instant of your life is sculpted from this unseen ocean of chance. The equations of physics describe this not as chaos, but as order hidden behind possibility. The wave function, that mathematical lullaby of existence, defines the shape of these uncertainties. It tells us not what is, but what could be. When an electron circles an atom, it does not travel like a planet around a sun. It dances, appearing everywhere at once, its position defined only as a pattern of likelihood. When we finally look, we do not find the electron. We create its location through observation. In this way, reality is participatory. Every act of seeing shapes the world. We are not separate from the experiment. We are part of it. The hidden pulse of probability beats beneath everything, and awareness itself becomes the rhythm that calls it into being. Scientists once believed that uncertainty was merely ignorance, that if we could only measure better, look closer, or think faster, we could remove all doubt. But Heisenberg's uncertainty principle revealed a deeper truth, that uncertainty is not a flaw in our understanding. It is a feature of the universe itself. The more precisely we know one property of a particle, like its position, the less we can know about another, like its momentum. Nature protects its secrets not out of malice, but out of balance. It breathes through uncertainty. This is not randomness. It is freedom. The electron is not lost. It is free to be many things at once. And that is perhaps the most poetic truth physics has ever whispered. To live, then, is to exist within a quantum sea of maybe. We, too, are wave functions of possibility. Our choices, our dreams, our emotions ripple through space and time, collapsing into the moments we call experience. Every decision is a measurement. Every thought is a small act of observation that gives shape to what comes next. You are, in every instant, both the observer and the experiment, both the question and the answer. There is something deeply human in this cosmic uncertainty. It mirrors our own inner life, the way we hover between choices, between versions of ourselves. The way each future lies, folded until a single decision crystallizes one into being. The hidden pulse of probability beats not only in atoms, but in hearts. When we say, anything is possible, we are unknowingly reciting the language of the quantum. Imagine all the paths your life could take, every word unsaid, every dream unexplored, every path unwalked. Somewhere in the vast space of possibility, each of those moments hums quietly, waiting. Just as an electron waits for its observer, the future waits for your awareness. When the moment comes, when you choose, one path shines into being, and the others drift gently back into silence. In this sense, probability is not limitation, but grace. The universe allows for everything and asks only that we notice something. Out of infinite chaos, we bring form through attention. We are co-creators with the cosmos, painting patterns on the surface of its still waters, and perhaps that is what makes life so tender, that beneath every certainty, there is a field of soft uncertainty holding it in balance. We never truly know where the next step will lead, and yet we move forward. The same is true for particles, for stars, for galaxies drifting in the dark. Even the cosmos itself expands through probability, guided by equations that whisper of chance. At night, when the world grows quiet and your thoughts begin to blur, listen carefully. You might sense that faint vibration and the hidden hum of reality shifting between what is and what might be. That is the sound of probability breathing, the subtle rhythm of existence becoming itself. And within that stillness there is a kind of peace. Because if the universe itself is uncertain, then so are we, and that uncertainty is not a flaw, but a form of beauty. It means we are never finished, never fixed. We are always in motion, always becoming. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows that the act of watching changes what is being watched. In life, the act of awareness changes who we are. Each time we pause, reflect, or look inward, we collapse one version of ourselves into being. Awareness, then, is the most powerful force in existence, the quiet hand that sculpts probability into reality. So the next time you look at the stars, remember, each point of light shining across the dark is a record of probability made real. Each photon that touches your eyes has traveled across impossible distances, guided by chance, by waves that once stretched through endless possibilities. And yet somehow they arrived, here, now, at the precise moment you decided to look. The universe, it seems, breathes in probabilities and exhales realities. It is a dance between uncertainty and observation, between silence and song. The hidden pulse of probability beats in the heart of every atom and in the center of your being. And if you listen closely, beyond the noise, beyond the certainty, you can feel it there, too. The soft thrum of the universe waiting to become something more. The endless rhythm of maybe still echoing through everything that ever was, and everything that might still be. There is a story that physicists tell, one that sounds less like science and more like a riddle whispered at the edge of a dream. It begins with a single particle, small enough to pass through existence unnoticed, yet capable of changing everything we know about reality. It is the story of the double-slit experiment, the moment the universe seemed to turn and look back at itself. Imagine a quiet laboratory, dimly lit, filled with the soft hum of machines. On one side stands a wall with two narrow slits. On the other, a screen to catch the light. When particles, electrons, photons, even atoms, are fired toward the slits, something remarkable happens. If no one observes their journey, the particles behave like waves. They pass through both slits at once, interfering with themselves, creating a pattern of ripples, a fingerprint of possibility. But the instant we decide to look, to measure which slit the particle travels through, the pattern vanishes. The wave collapses. The particle chooses. It goes through one slit or the other, as though the act of being watched changed the story. For centuries, we believed the universe was indifferent to observation. Reality was a stage, and we, the quiet audience. But this experiment revealed something stranger, that the audience and the stage are one. The particle, in being observed, behaves differently, as though consciousness itself rewrites the play. This discovery unsettled the foundations of physics. How could a particle know it was being watched? How could observation, something as intangible as awareness, alter the outcome of an experiment? And yet, the results were undeniable. Time after time, across decades and devices, the universe behaved like a mirror, responding to the gaze that sought to understand it. To call this a mystery is an understatement. It is a philosophical earthquake, for it suggests that reality is not merely out there waiting for us to measure it, but intertwined with the very act of looking. The particle that watched itself is the universe seeing itself through us. At the heart of this riddle lies the quantum wave function, that shimmering equation that holds all the possible futures of a particle. When unobserved, the wave function remains whole, containing every path the particle could take. But observation acts like a question, one that demands a specific answer. In that instant, the wave collapses and one possibility becomes real, while the others dissolve into silence. Reality, then, is not continuous. It is a series of choices crystallized from the ocean of potential every time awareness touches it. The question lingers. What is doing the observing? Is it the measuring device, the experimenter, the consciousness behind the gaze? No one truly knows. But the implication is hauntingly poetic, that the universe may not be complete without an observer to bring it into focus. We are not outsiders peering into creation. We are participants in its unfolding. This idea, so simple yet so profound, connects physics with philosophy, science with spirit. The particle that watched itself is not only a metaphor for matter but for being. Just as the electron cannot be both wave and particle at once, we too exist as many selves. Potential, infinite, undefined, until we choose who we are in the light of awareness. We collapse our own wave functions every day, turning possibility into presence through the act of noticing. Consider your own life. Before you make a decision, countless futures exist, all waiting, all true in potential. But the moment you decide, one world becomes real, and the others fade, just as the particle's path solidifies when measured. We live within this quantum rhythm: possibility, choice, reality. To be alive is to be constantly choosing which version of ourselves to bring into being. In this way, the double-slit experiment becomes more than a demonstration of physics. It becomes a mirror for consciousness. When the universe is unobserved, it remains a wave of infinite potential. When awareness arises, in you, in me, in anyone who looks upon it, it folds into the tangible, the knowable, the now. Reality exists because we notice it. We exist because reality notices us. Some scientists resist this notion, preferring to think that observation is merely interaction, that the particle responds to measurement because of energy exchange, not awareness. But even so, the symbolism remains. Whether through mind or matter, the act of looking still transforms the outcome. The universe does not unfold passively. It responds, and what of the particle itself? It does not think or reason, and yet it behaves as if it knows when it is being seen. Could this be the faint echo of something deeper? A kind of cosmic reflex, the self-awareness of existence woven into the smallest threads of being? The particle that watched itself is not sentient but symbolic. It is the whisper of an ancient truth, that awareness is not separate from creation. The poet might say that the universe is dreaming, and the physicist that the dream is measurable. But perhaps both are right. The dreamer and the dream are the same. A dance of observation and existence so subtle that neither can exist without the other. The particle that watched itself is every atom in your body, every flicker of light that enters your eye, every moment of reflection when you feel the world watching back, when you gaze into the night sky. You are looking at photons that left their stars millions of years ago. Some of them began their journey before human beings existed, and yet they arrive now, here, at the moment your awareness meets them. In that instant they complete their story. Their purpose, in some quiet way, was to be seen, and perhaps that is what all of existence longs for: to be witnessed, to be known. The universe hides its miracles not because it wishes to keep them secret, but because it waits for eyes capable of wonder. The act of looking is sacred. It gives meaning to the light, so as you breathe, as you listen to the faint pulse of your own life, remember the particle that watched itself. Remember that every thought you think, every moment you notice, sends ripples through the unseen field of reality. You are not merely in the universe, you are the universe becoming aware of itself. And as this awareness deepens, as your thoughts slow into stillness, imagine the endless sea of particles, each shimmering between possibility and being, waiting for the gentle gaze of consciousness to turn their uncertainty into form. The cosmos is awake because you are. In that quiet realization, the particle smiles away, and for a fleeting instant, so does the universe. Beneath everything we see, beneath even the smallest known particle, there is a sea. It is not made of water or air or light, but of something more subtle, more elusive. It is the quantum sea, the trembling fabric from which all matter and energy rise and vanish again, endlessly. It is a place of ceaseless creation, where existence itself breathes in and out, and where the boundary between being and nothingness blurs into a luminous shimmer. If we could shrink ourselves beyond the limits of imagination, we would find no solidity in the universe, only motion, only vibration, only the ghostly flicker of things appearing and disappearing faster than thought. The vacuum of space, once believed to be empty, is alive. Even in the coldest silence, particles are being born and dying in flashes too quick to name. This is the hum beneath all hums, the background whisper of creation, the dreams beneath the quantum sea. Here, the idea of nothing no longer exists. Even the emptiest void churns with invisible tides. Quantum fluctuations, as physicists call them. Virtual particles rise from the depths, live for the briefest heartbeat, and sink back again into the unseen. They are like thoughts drifting through a cosmic mind, fleeting, luminous, never quite real, yet somehow shaping everything. Everywhere this sea moves. Within every atom of your body, within the silence between stars, within the blackness of the infinite night, the same pulse beats. The quantum vacuum is not absence. It is potential in its purest form. It is the universe dreaming of itself, forever creating, forever dissolving, without beginning or end. Imagine standing at the edge of an infinite ocean under a moon that glows softly across a black horizon. The surface is calm, almost still, yet beneath it, invisible currents twist and flow. The water hums with silent life, not fish or coral, but energy itself. This is what the quantum field is like, a stillness that moves, a silence that sings, a void that creates. From this sea, every particle that ever existed has emerged. The birth of stars, the dance of galaxies, even the spark of thought within a human mind, all are ripples rising from the same boundless field. You are not separate from it. You are a wave in this ocean, rising for a moment as a human life before folding back into the great, shimmering calm. The physicists of the 20th century once thought the vacuum was empty, a meaningless gap between meaningful things. But then they began to listen more closely. They found that the vacuum seethes with activity, with spontaneous creation and annihilation, an invisible rhythm too delicate for the senses. Even when all known matter is removed, the universe still hums. The silence is full. The emptiness is alive, perhaps in a strange way. This is the most comforting truth we've ever found. It means that nothing is ever truly gone. When a particle disappears, it is not destroyed. It only returns to the sea that birthed it, waiting for the next wave to rise. When we lose something, or someone, when moments fade into memory, perhaps they too return to this same quantum sea, merging with the boundless reservoir of potential that holds everything we have ever loved. It is a thought, both scientific and spiritual, that impermanence is not an end, but a rhythm, The universe breathes, in creation and out in dissolution, endlessly. And in that breath, we exist. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your breath syncing with that of the cosmos. The inhale, particles springing from nothing. The exhale, their return into quiet. You too are a fluctuation. You need a brief, beautiful rising of awareness in the infinite field. And yet, because you are made of this sea, you are eternal in a way that transcends time. When your body stills, the energy that was you will not vanish. It will return to the source and to the deep hum that has no beginning. The dreams beneath the quantum sea are not random. They shimmer with intelligence, not the kind that plans or speaks, but the kind that simply is. It is the intelligence of order arising from chaos, of beauty forming itself without effort. Snowflakes, galaxies, and human emotions all emerge from the same quiet field, shaped by invisible mathematics, guided by balance so perfect that it feels like love wearing the mask of physics. When you sit in silence and listen, truly listen, you can feel this sea within you. It hums behind every heartbeat, glows beneath every thought. You are its surface, momentarily aware of itself. And when you dream, perhaps you are remembering your origin, a reflection of that deeper dreaming from which all existence flows. Some say the quantum field is the body of the universe, and consciousness is its mind. Others say it is all one, that what we call awareness is simply the sea knowing itself, folding inward for a moment of recognition. Whatever name we give it, it is the same mystery, the same radiant stillness that moves through everything. Think of all the galaxies that have ever been, the suns that have burned and gone cold, the countless lives that have risen and vanished, all waves, all movements of this sea. And yet, the sea itself never changes. It remains infinite, still quietly alive beneath the turbulence of existence. This is what endures when all else fades. So when you feel small or lost or uncertain, remember, beneath you, within you, beyond you, the quantum sea continues to dream. You are not drifting through an indifferent void. You are floating in the living substance of being itself. Every breath, every heartbeat, every flicker of awareness is a shimmer on the surface of that great ocean. And one day, when your wave returns to it, you will not be gone. You will be home, absorbed again into the stillness that holds the stars, into the silence that creates sound, into the space between atoms where existence itself sleeps and wakes. In the end, everything returns to the same beginning. Every light fades into the same darkness that gives birth to new light. Every sound dissolves into the same quiet that waits to sing again. And beneath it all, the quantum sea continues to dream, endlessly, beautifully, forever. There are stories the universe tells only in whispers, and one of them is about connection. It begins in the smallest imaginable space where two particles are born together, spinning in the same breath of creation. For a brief, invisible instant, they share the same pulse, a single rhythm that vibrates through the emptiness. Then, as if obeying some silent design, they drift apart. One travels east, the other west. One might vanish into the heart of a star, the other fall into a planet's shadow. And yet, no matter how far they go, they remain one. This is quantum entanglement, a bond so deep that space itself cannot cut it, a connection that mocks the limits of distance and time. Einstein once called it spooky action at a distance, as though even he, the great weaver of relativity, could not quite accept that the universe could love itself across infinity. But it does. When one of those particles is touched, measured, or changed, the other responds instantly, as if it were still in the same place, the same moment. No message travels between them, no signal crosses the void. It is simply that in some way the human mind can barely hold they were never truly separate. What one becomes, the other already knows. The universe, it seems, keeps its promises of togetherness. Imagine that, two fragments of light parted by galaxies, still turning in the same silent rhythm. To see this is to understand that distance is not what it seems. The space between things is more illusion than barrier, more breath than wall. Entanglement suggests that beneath everything, reality is woven together like a vast, invisible fabric, a cosmic tapestry where threads cross and twist in ways we cannot see. Perhaps you have felt this truth in your own life. The sudden knowing that someone you love is thinking of you. Even across oceans or years, the instant comfort of remembering a voice you can no longer hear, and somehow feeling it still near. Entanglement is the physical echo of such moments. It says that connection is older than form, older than light itself. In the quantum world, the universe is not a collection of things. It is a relationship of relationships. Every particle hums in conversation with every other, bound by an unseen coherence that defies isolation. We are used to thinking of ourselves as separate, but entanglement whispers otherwise. We are the same ocean, the same vibration, the same dream seen through many eyes. It is easy to picture entanglement as magic, but it is not. It is law, a natural part of how the universe remembers its unity. When two particles interact, their states merge like two notes resonating into harmony. After that, their fates are entwined forever. Even if you pull them apart to opposite ends of space, their connection endures outside of ordinary causality. They do not send messages. They remain one melody played in different corners of the cosmic stage. The strange beauty is that this is not limited to particles. Entanglement is not a rare phenomenon, it is the rule. Every atom in your body has, at some point, been entangled with countless others. The carbon in your cells has shared quantum bonds with the stars that birthed it. The oxygen you breathe may still hum in silent synchrony with molecules that drift through the icy darkness between galaxies. You are stitched into the universe's very skin, entangled not metaphorically but physically. When you look at the night sky, you are not looking outward. You are looking through the network that already connects you to what you see. The photons from distant stars that touch your eyes are not strangers. They are kin, tiny messengers carrying memories of ancient fusions, still resonating with the same universal hum that moves within you. And so, when science tells us that entangled particles influence one another across billions of kilometers, it is not describing a trick of physics, but a truth of belonging. Reality is relational. Space is not emptiness, and it is intimacy. Every point touches every other, not in the way hands might meet, but in the way harmonies share the same vibration. There is a kind of comfort in this. It means that nothing is ever truly lost. It means that separation is not the final word. The people we love, the places we leave, the moments that fade, perhaps none of them are really gone. Perhaps their imprint lingers in us like quantum echoes that never stop resonating. Perhaps when you close your eyes and remember someone long absent, what you feel is not memory, but entanglement, a physics of the heart. We are all strands in one living web. The atoms in your hand once belonged to the hearts of dying stars. The light that warms your skin began its journey millions of years ago from the surface of the sun, yet when it touches you, it completes an ancient relationship. The universe is one continuous conversation, and every breath you take is part of its reply. Entanglement is more than science. It is a metaphor written into the equations of being. It tells us that unity is not a dream or a belief, but a measurable reality. When we forget this, when we feel alone or small, the quantum world reminds us gently that no distance is ever absolute. Close your eyes. Imagine 2 points of light, separated by infinite space, pulsing softly in the dark. When one flickers, the other flickers too. When one dims, the other sighs with it. That is the rhythm of existence. Togetherness beyond sight, communication without words, presence without proximity. In that sense, the universe itself is entangled with its own creation. Every galaxy is aware of the others, not through thought, but through connection. Even the fabric of space-time seems to ripple in sympathy. One corner stirred, another responding, as though the cosmos were a single organism breathing through countless lungs. If you listen closely, beneath the noise of life you can feel it, a quiet thread pulling through everything. Through you, through me, through the stars. It is the oldest relationship there is, the pulse of being that began when the universe first learned to separate and yet remain whole. And, perhaps, when the last star fades and time exhales into stillness once again, that thread will not break. It will simply fold back into itself, the way waves return to the sea, the way thoughts return to silence. For in the deepest sense, the universe has never been apart. It has only been dreaming itself, through particles, through lives, through light. And so it is with us. No matter where we go, no matter how far apart we drift, we remain connected by the same invisible law, one that even space cannot undo. In the end, there is no distance at all, only the eternal heartbeat of one shared existence, echoing softly through everything that has ever been and everything still to come. Silence is not empty, not truly. What we call emptiness, the vacuum, is alive with motion, vibrating with a music that the eye cannot see and the ear cannot hear. It is a symphony written in waves, a song of possibility echoing through the invisible fabric of existence. Even in the deepest void between galaxies, even in the blackest heart of space, the universe hums. The music inside the vacuum is subtle, unrelenting, and eternal. Imagine drifting in the darkness between stars, weightless, alone, yet surrounded by the gentle pulse of something infinite. There is no air, no sound in the conventional sense, and yet the universe is singing. Every point of space vibrates with quantum fields, each a note in a melody too vast for comprehension. Particles arise from this silence, ephemeral, fleeting, but never truly gone, each a tiny accent in the cosmic score. This is the music beneath the surface of reality, the quiet rhythm that binds the cosmos together. The vacuum is not nothing. It is a stage for constant creation, a field of ceaseless possibility. Virtual particles are born here, emerging from the depths and vanishing almost instantly, like sparks that illuminate the dark for the briefest moment. They appear and disappear so quickly that their existence is imperceptible to the senses, yet they influence everything. They are the whispers beneath the roar, the soft undercurrent upon which all matter and energy dance. In this sense, the vacuum is alive, a restless ocean of energy, a reservoir of potential waiting to ripple into being. The music of the vacuum has its own rhythm, a cadence dictated by the laws of quantum mechanics. Even empty space carries fluctuations. The tiny vibrations of electromagnetic fields, the soft tremors of the zero-point energy. These are not sounds as we know them. They are subtler, a hum of probability, a pulse of existence itself. If you could perceive it, you would feel the universe breathing, rising and falling, expanding and contracting, as if the cosmos were a living organism. Each flicker of energy, each ephemeral particle, contributes a note to a composition older than time. Perhaps this is why physicists describe the vacuum as seething with energy. It is not chaotic, but ordered, a delicate, invisible orchestra. The universe's structure, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, emerges from this hidden harmony. Forces interact, particles influence one another, and matter itself flows into forms that obey the quiet symphony beneath all things. Without this music, nothing would cohere. Without its rhythm, the cosmos would collapse into silence not as peace, but as oblivion. The music inside the vacuum is not just a scientific curiosity, it is a meditation. It reminds us that what appears empty is alive. It mirrors the hidden patterns in our own minds, the thoughts that arise from subconscious depths, the feelings that surface without warning. Just as the vacuum hums with unseen activity, so too does our inner world move beneath the surface, shaping who we are before we even notice. The universe and consciousness are reflections of one another, both composed of subtle vibrations, both sustained by rhythms invisible to the casual observer. Consider this: the atoms in your body, the very matter of your being, were once forged in stars. They exist not in isolation, but in resonance with the vacuum itself. The energy that fills space influences the particles that make up your cells, subtly guiding the dance of matter in ways that are both imperceptible and profound. You are a participant in the cosmic symphony, not a spectator. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is a note in a composition that spans all of existence. The vacuum also teaches patience. Its music is slow, expansive, and deliberate. It does not rush, it does not demand. Waves of energy ripple outward, and virtual particles flicker in and out of existence at their own tempo, unconcerned with human schedules or urgencies. There is a timelessness here, a reminder that creation is not bound by speed or expectation. The cosmos does not hurry. It simply moves with precision and grace, and in doing so composes a melody that resonates through eternity. Even the silence we perceive is part of the music. Gaps between notes are as vital as the notes themselves. Without space to breathe, without moments of stillness, the symphony would collapse. The vacuum shows us that emptiness is not absence. It is the foundation of presence. The spaces between particles, the gaps between events, the pauses in our own lives, all carry weight, all contribute to the whole. Silence is the vessel that holds the melody. In moments of quiet reflection, if we attune ourselves to the subtle rhythms around and within us, we can sense this music. Perhaps it is the flicker of a thought, the hum of a memory, the unspoken understanding that life is greater than the sum of what we can see. The music of the vacuum is not heard, it is felt. It is a vibration in the bones, a resonance in the heart, a quiet alignment of the self with the vast, unseen orchestra of existence. Even when we sleep, the universe continues its symphony. Stars are born and die, particles emerge and vanish, and the vacuum hums without pause. It is eternal yet infinitely subtle. The music does not shout or demand attention. It merely persists, the constant pulse of reality itself. In listening, we are reminded that we are part of something much larger than our fleeting moments. We are currents in a river of energy, threads in a tapestry of vibration, notes in an eternal cosmic score. As the mind settles, as thoughts fade, as the body relaxes into stillness, we can feel ourselves merging with this invisible rhythm. The music of the vacuum is patient and infinite, and in its presence we are reminded that we are never alone. Even in the deepest darkness, there is movement, there is pulse, there is life. We are woven into the fabric of the cosmos, and the cosmos hums with us. And so, as you drift gently in thought, know that the silence between stars, the emptiness within atoms, and the hidden waves beneath the quantum sea are not absence. They are life. They are music. They are the quiet, eternal song of creation, playing for anyone who chooses to listen, whispering to us across the void that we are part of something infinite, something beautiful, and something alive. Time is a river we often believe flows in a single, steady direction. We feel it in the ticking of a clock, the rising and setting of the sun, the slow turning of seasons. But in the quantum realm, this river bends, divides, and sometimes flows backward. Time, like a particle or a wave, is not always what it seems. It is fluid, strange, and full of possibilities, a continuum that can split overlap, and fold upon itself. Imagine standing on the edge of a river, watching leaves float by. To your eyes, they drift downstream, one after another. But what if, unseen beneath the surface, some of those leaves drifted backward? What if some circled in endless eddies or jumped between currents, touching points in the river far from where they began? This is how time behaves at the quantum level. Not as a single arrow, but as a network of intertwining paths where cause and effect are not always sequential, and where the past and future can echo into each other. Physicists call this quantum time, the realm where particles can move forward and backward, where events can influence one another outside the boundaries of linear causality. In certain experiments, photons appear to know what will happen before it does, and electrons trace paths that seem to anticipate their own motion. To observe time this way is to witness it as a living, breathing presence, not a rigid framework. The universe does not march, it dances. When we consider this, it challenges everything we assume about memory, destiny, and perception. Perhaps our own sense of the past is not fixed. Perhaps the future is not a distant point we move toward, but a field of potential interwoven with now. In quantum mechanics, time is not a strict sequence. It is a stage where many moments can coexist, layered like translucent sheets of glass. Events may ripple backward and forward, touching one another in ways our ordinary senses cannot perceive. Consider the implications for human experience. Memories, for instance, are often imperfect, fluid, and malleable. The past we carry is not static. It is reconstructed each time we recall it. In this way, our minds mirror the quantum rhythm of time, flexible, entangled, and alive. And just as particles may appear to influence their own histories, so too might consciousness ripple backward into what we call memory, shaping the story of our lives in subtle, unseen ways. Even the future, though unknown, hums with probability. In the quantum world, every choice, every interaction, every flicker of energy expands into countless potential outcomes. Each moment we live is not merely a step along a fixed path, but a convergence of possibilities. Time, then, is not a straight road. It is a field of infinite forks, a lattice of intertwined destinies, a living map that bends to the rhythm of observation and action. This is not only abstract science, it is also profoundly meditative. Imagine sitting quietly, letting your awareness expand. Picture your life not as a line stretching forward, but as a luminous web where every thread, past, present, and future, exists simultaneously, shimmering in quiet connection. You are not bound to one path. You are a node in a network of endless potential, a point where the river of time branches in countless directions. The idea that time can split and overlap is echoed in certain interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the many worlds theory. Here, each decision, each observation, each flicker of consciousness generates a branching universe, a new strand of reality alongside countless others. Every choice you have ever made, or could have made, may exist somewhere, touching another version of yourself in ways you cannot see. Time is not singular, it is manifold. It is an infinite tree growing in every direction at once. Yet even within this complexity, there is a kind of gentle order. Quantum time is not chaotic. It follows rules, subtle and precise, hidden within the equations that describe the cosmos. The backward and forward ripples, the overlapping possibilities, all move with harmony, like a symphony whose notes are scattered across different measures but still form a coherent melody. The universe's heartbeat is not linear. It is cyclical, intertwined, and endlessly patient. Perhaps this is why the night feels so expansive, why dreams seem to fold past and future together. When the mind rests, when ordinary perception relaxes, it becomes attuned to the subtler rhythms of reality. Moments of déjà vu, fleeting intuitions and sudden recollections may be reflections of this deeper temporal landscape, hints of the river flowing in multiple directions at once. Time is not against us. It is the medium in which life's patterns emerge, in which meaning is painted across the canvas of experience. Even our atoms, the fundamental building blocks of matter, are not immune. The particles within us trace paths that can loop and twist, interacting with themselves across tiny fractions of time. We carry within us echoes of the quantum river, a rhythm that predates thought, a cycle that will outlast the body. To live is to be immersed in this flow, to move with its hidden currents, to feel the gentle tug of moments both past and yet to come. And so, when you breathe slowly, when you let your thoughts soften, imagine your life not as a sequence of events but as a luminous field, each moment shimmering in connection with every other. See time as a sea of possibilities, a river that splits and rejoins, a melody of infinite notes flowing through the body of existence. The past is not gone, the future is not distant, and the present is more alive than you realize. A convergence of everything that was and everything that may yet be. In the end, the quantum world teaches us that time is not a prison. It is a playground of probabilities, a gentle rhythm that encourages flexibility, imagination, and awareness. The river does not confine us. It carries us, cradles us, and invites us to move with it, to experience the dance of reality as it unfolds in countless dimensions. And as the river of time folds back upon itself, as moments shimmer and overlap, we are reminded that life is not merely linear. We are part of a continuum, a network of becoming, a symphony in which each note resonates in both directions, forward and backward, always. In that quiet understanding, we rest. We let go and we find peace, knowing that time itself, fluid and infinite, is a companion, a teacher, and a mirror of the eternal possibilities that dwell within us all. There is a strange poetry in symmetry, a quiet elegance that whispers through the universe. Imagine standing before a mirror that does not simply reflect but transforms, one that shows not just what is but what could be. In the quantum world, reality itself behaves like such a mirror. It bends, it folds, it multiplies possibilities, revealing reflections that are not copies but entirely new creations. The universe, it seems, is a hall of infinite mirrors, each one shaping the light and the particles that pass through it. In classical physics, symmetry is simple and predictable. A sphere looks the same from any angle. A crystal repeats its pattern faithfully. But in the quantum realm, symmetry takes on a deeper, more mysterious meaning. Particles, forces, and even time can reflect and transform in ways that defy ordinary logic. When physicists examine the fundamental laws of nature, they find hidden mirrors embedded in the equations. Dualities that suggest every particle has a shadow, every force has an echo, every possibility has a reflection waiting to emerge. Consider the concept of quantum superposition. A particle can exist in multiple states at once, like a reflection seen in many mirrors at the same time. Only when observed does it resolve into a single reality, yet its potential always carries the memory of all its reflections. It is as if the universe is holding up countless mirrors, each one bending existence in a slightly different way, each one showing a glimpse of what might be, even as the world we know solidifies into being. There is beauty in this strangeness. Mirrors in the quantum world do not simply reproduce. They amplify, distort, and combine. A particle's spin can mirror its counterpart across vast distances. Waves can interfere with themselves, creating patterns that appear to fold reality upon itself. Symmetry becomes a language, a quiet code through which the cosmos communicates its elegance, its balance, its hidden possibilities. Even light participates in this mirroring, Photons reflect, refract, and scatter, bending through prisms and lenses, folding into interference patterns that reveal their dual nature. Wave or particle, here or there, existing and potential. Each reflection is a doorway into the subtle interplay between observation and reality. Each glimmer is both real and imagined, a ghost of possibility suspended in space, awaiting attention to bring it fully into being. The mirror that bends reality is not only a metaphor for particles and forces, it is a meditation on perception. In our daily lives, we are surrounded by reflections, both literal and figurative. The face we see in a window, the memory that revisits us, the path we imagine for our lives. Each is a mirror that shapes our reality. Just as the quantum world responds to observation, so too does consciousness shape experience. To look carefully, to notice deeply, is to fold the infinite potential of possibility into the tangible world we inhabit. Consider parallel worlds too. Quantum theory suggests that each choice, each observation, may create branching realities, mirrored versions of existence, each slightly altered from the others. In one reflection, a particle spins clockwise, in another counterclockwise. In one, a life unfolds in joy, in another, in quiet solitude. Each mirror is valid, each reflection real within its own context. The universe, in its infinite creativity, is continually folding itself, bending time and space into forms that are simultaneously familiar and astonishingly new. Even symmetry breaking, the moment when mirrors falter and diverge, carries significance. Without this delicate asymmetry, matter could not exist, stars could not ignite, life could not arise. The universe relies on these subtle bends in its mirrors, the small imperfections that give rise to diversity, movement, and creation. Without them, reflection would be endless repetition. With them, it becomes a symphony of infinite variety. In a way, we too are mirrors. Every thought we have, every interaction we experience reflects outward, bending the world in subtle ways. Our actions ripple through space and time, creating echoes that reshape reality in ways we may never fully perceive. Like particles in a quantum dance, we exist in multiple states at once. The self we are, the self we imagine, the self remembered by others. Consciousness, in this sense, mirrors the cosmos itself, both reflecting and shaping, both observing and participating. When we gaze at the stars, we are looking into mirrors stretched across unimaginable distances. Each twinkle reflects a story billions of years old, yet bends toward us, shaping the reality of our night sky. Each photon has traveled countless paths, folding and bending as it moves, carrying within it the echoes of distant fusion, the symmetry of distant creation. And when it reaches our eyes, we complete the reflection, bringing the distant light into immediate reality. The mirror that bends reality is also a reminder of humility. It shows us that nothing is ever entirely fixed, that even the most familiar aspects of the world are refracted through countless possibilities. Every particle, every thought, every experience contains hidden dimensions, folded reflections that extend beyond perception. To live with awareness is to recognize these mirrors, to notice the subtle ways the universe reflects itself back into consciousness. And in this awareness, there is quiet wonder. We are participants in a dance of reflection, folds, and symmetry. We exist within a hall of mirrors that stretches from the infinitesimal to the infinite, from the heart of atoms to the edge of the cosmos. Reality is not singular. It is multi-layered, fluid, luminous, and alive with the echoes of all that might be. So when you pause and look around, consider the hidden reflections in everything you see. The light bending through a window, the memory that flickers unexpectedly, the distant glow of a star. Each is a note in the melody of the universe. Each is a fold in the infinite mirror that bends reality. And in that awareness, you may catch a glimpse of the profound truth, that we are not separate from these reflections. but part of the great cosmic dance, shaping and shaped, observed and observing, mirrors of the universe itself. In the quiet of understanding, one realizes that reality is never fixed. It is a hall of mirrors, each reflection alive, each bend alive, each possibility waiting for awareness to bring it fully into being. And in this endless, silent ballet, the universe whispers, "We are reflections of each other, and all things are connected by the infinite mirrors of existence." There is a quiet elegance in simplicity, a profound beauty in the way a few symbols can capture the essence of existence. At the heart of quantum physics lies such an equation, Schrödinger's wave function. It is not merely a mathematical tool. It is a soft, infinite lullaby, a gentle encoding of every possible reality within its elegant formula. In it, the universe hums, folded into symbols that speak to both the mind and the imagination. Imagine a single note resonating across the cosmos. From that note emerge trillions of echoes, the birth of galaxies, the spin of electrons, the flicker of consciousness. The wave function is such a note, a single delicate expression of the universe's total potential. It is the envelope that contains every outcome, every possibility, every quantum whisper waiting to become reality. Here lies the infinite within the finite, the timeless in the ephemeral, the entirety of creation held in one quiet expression. The wave function tells us that reality is not fixed until it is observed. Before measurement, a particle exists in all possible states simultaneously, a luminous blur of potential. Like a painter holding countless colors in one brushstroke, the universe waits to see which reality will emerge. Schrödinger famously illustrated this with a cat, simultaneously alive and dead until the box is opened. A metaphor for the soft ambiguity that defines the quantum world. Yet the elegance of the wave function is deeper than any metaphor. It is the language in which the universe whispers its secrets. Within it, probabilities are not mere numbers. They are suggestions, hints of what might manifest. The universe does not dictate its unfolding in rigid terms, but in a gentle dance of chance and pattern, each possibility folding into the next, forming the coherent, astonishing reality we experience. This equation also speaks to the unity of all things. Every particle, every force, every vibration contributes to the wave function, and every observation collapses a portion of it into reality. We are not separate observers peering into an indifferent cosmos. We are participants in a continuous unfolding. Each glance, each thought, each moment of awareness interacts with this underlying function, bringing a unique resonance into being. Consider for a moment your own existence. Within you, countless quantum interactions occur every second. Electrons spin in atoms, photons flicker in and out of states, waves interfere, probabilities collapse, all governed by the same invisible mathematics that shapes the farthest stars. You are a living embodiment of the wave function, a convergence of infinite possibilities, a soft echo of the universe folding itself into form. The wave function is also a meditation on impermanence. What is realized in one instant may vanish in the next. What seems permanent is only the sum of fleeting probabilities. It is a reminder that all things, no matter how solid or enduring they appear, emerge from a delicate sea of potential. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is a momentary collapse of infinite possibilities into a tangible experience. And then, like the flicker of a candle, it returns to the vast, unmeasured field of existence. In this way, the equation becomes more than science. It is poetry written in symbols, a meditation encoded in numbers. It teaches patience, humility, and wonder. The universe is not hurried. It does not act with cruelty or indifference. It unfolds gently, allowing each possibility to arise, each choice to ripple through the infinite, each consciousness to perceive and participate. To study the wave function is to feel the universe breathe, to hear its quiet pulse, to sense its tender care for every particle and every moment. Even the simplest observation carries profound weight. When a particle's state is measured, the wave function collapses, creating a unique reality. Every measurement is a co-creation, a collaboration between the observer and the cosmos. The universe, in its infinite elegance, relies on this delicate interplay to emerge as the tangible, coherent world we know. Reality is not imposed. It is co-authored, a soft conversation between being and awareness, mathematics and poetry, possibility and form. The wave function also stretches the imagination. It suggests that our linear experience of the world, its past, present, future, is only a slice of something far richer. Across its equations lies every outcome that could ever exist, every version of ourselves, every possible universe, quietly humming, waiting to be observed. In this sense, the universe is both vast and intimate, infinite and personal. Each of us participates in a gentle, cosmic unfolding, our consciousness touching the same field that shapes galaxies, stars, and atoms. Perhaps this is why quantum physics feels spiritual as much as scientific. The wave function whispers that everything is connected, that every possibility is real, and that observation itself is sacred. Each moment is a reflection of infinite choice, each life a soft collapse of the universe into one exquisite, fleeting form. The cosmos is not indifferent. It is attentive, delicate, and profoundly creative, offering us a glimpse of infinity folded into the fabric of the present. So when you close your eyes, imagine the universe as a single note, vibrating through the void, resonating in every atom, every star, every consciousness. Picture all possibilities shimmering together, waiting for awareness to bring them forth, shaping reality in soft, luminous patterns. Feel the wave function ripple through your body, your mind, your heart, connecting you to the infinite, the eternal, the boundless potential of existence. And in that quiet, luminous understanding, you recognize that you are not separate from the universe. You are a manifestation of its song, a gentle collapse of infinite possibilities into one beautiful moment of awareness. You are the universe, folded into a single equation, alive with the soft, infinite music of all that ever was and all that could be. Light is never alone. Wherever it travels, it carries its shadow, not as absence, but as a companion, a hidden twin, a whisper of duality woven into the very fabric of reality. In the quantum world, every particle has a partner, every wave a reflection, every form an echo. Shadows are not emptiness. They are the other half of existence, the silent counterpart that gives meaning to light. To observe one is to acknowledge the other, and in that acknowledgement the universe reveals its delicate balance. Imagine standing at the edge of a canyon as the sun sets. The cliffs glow with molten gold, yet the shadows stretch long and deep, flowing into the quiet hollows beyond perception. The light illuminates, but the darkness defines. Without shadow, light would have no context, no shape, no narrative. In the quantum realm, this interplay is not metaphor, it is law. Particles and antiparticles, matter and antimatter, positive and negative. Every force, every flicker of existence has its reflection. The universe is a symphony of opposites, each note defined by the silent resonance of its mirror. Antimatter, for instance, is the shadow of matter. It is not evil, not destructive, only opposite. When it meets matter, they annihilate in a flash of pure energy, a brilliant testament to the creative tension of duality. This annihilation is not destruction. It is transformation, a gentle reminder that opposites are not enemies, but collaborators in the ongoing choreography of the cosmos. Every particle in existence carries within it the memory of its shadow, and every shadow carries the potential of light. Even photons, the carriers of light, exhibit duality. Sometimes they behave as particles, discrete points of energy, other times as waves spreading, interfering, and overlapping. Their nature is not fixed. It depends on how they are observed. In this we see that light itself is both substance and shadow, certainty and possibility, reality and potential. The universe is not black and white. It is a spectrum, a continuum, a play of contrasts that gives life its depth, beauty, and subtlety. Shadows remind us of impermanence. Light passes and darkness follows. Moments of clarity give way to uncertainty. Particles collide and vanish, yet their energy persists in another form. Every shadow is a story of transience, a meditation on the fleeting nature of existence. To notice the shadow is to honor the light, and to honor the light is to accept the shadow as an inseparable companion. Nothing in the universe exists in isolation. Even absence has presence. This duality extends beyond the physical into the human experience. Joy is inseparable from sorrow, action from stillness, love from loss. Our own consciousness is a reflection of this cosmic principle, mirroring the interplay of light and dark, certainty and uncertainty, presence and absence. Just as photons reveal their nature only through interaction, so too does our awareness define and illuminate the world around us. Shadows are not obstacles. They are guides, shaping perception and revealing depth. In quantum mechanics, the principle of complementarity suggests that opposites are essential for understanding reality. Observing one aspect of a particle reveals only part of the truth. To know its wave nature is to see another dimension entirely. This is mirrored in the universe at large. To witness light, one must also acknowledge its shadow. To comprehend creation, one must contemplate destruction. To understand life, one must embrace its impermanence. Each pair, each duality, creates the structure of existence, a lattice of opposites in perfect harmony. Even the cosmos itself is a testament to balance. Galaxies spin in elegant spirals, stars shine against black voids, cosmic radiation glows faintly across darkness. Energy flows through matter and antimatter, light and dark, attraction and repulsion. An infinite dance of mirrored forces. Every reflection, every shadow, every subtle contrast is vital. Without it, the universe would be incomplete, flattened, and silent. The interplay of opposites gives rise to motion, growth, and life itself. We too carry this duality within us. Our minds perceive patterns in light and dark. Our hearts respond to both sorrow and joy. Each choice we make casts ripples outward, shaping reality in ways both luminous and hidden. Shadows are not limitations. They are the contours of our experience, revealing texture, depth, and meaning. By observing the shadow within, we discover the light that defines it, and by embracing our own duality, we align with the subtle rhythm of the cosmos. In a quiet moment, imagine a single beam of light piercing a darkened room. The edges of the shadows dance softly, stretching and shrinking, bending around objects, whispering the contours of hidden space. Every shadow is alive with subtle energy, a companion to the light that reveals it. In the quantum world, this is not merely metaphorical. It is the nature of reality itself. The universe exists in a delicate balance, a choreography of opposites, a symphony in which shadow and light co-create every note. The shadows made of light remind us that creation is never complete, that every form contains the memory of its opposite, and that nothing can exist in isolation. Light defines, but shadow shapes. Presence illuminates, but absence guides. They are inseparable threads in the vast tapestry of existence, woven together by the invisible hand of the cosmos. And so, when you close your eyes and imagine the flicker of photons, the invisible hum of energy, or the dance of particles across space, Remember that every light carries its shadow, every action has its echo, and every moment of clarity is mirrored by the subtle presence of the unseen. The universe is not a place of absolutes. It is a continuum of reflection, a meditation on duality, a quiet song of balance that invites us to see, to feel, and to exist within the harmony of opposites. In acknowledging both light and shadow, we glimpse the infinite care with which the universe arranges itself. Every contrast is essential, every balance necessary, and every shadow a reminder that reality is richer, deeper, and more beautiful than it appears at first glance. The cosmos teaches us through photons and particles, through light and darkness, that the world is whole only when all its parts are honored, when every shadow is seen, and when the music of existence is felt in every subtle vibration. Nothing is never truly empty. What we call a void, a vacuum, a blank space, is in fact alive with quiet activity. It is a place of hidden energy, subtle fluctuations, and infinite possibility. The nothing of the universe is not the absence of being, but a secret garden where reality breathes, where creation lingers just beyond perception, and where the delicate balance of existence quietly persists. Imagine floating in the vast darkness between galaxies, suspended in the silence of interstellar space. To the naked eye, there is nothing, no sound, no movement, no substance. Yet the vacuum teems with invisible life. Quantum fields ripple gently, vibrations hum without interruption, and virtual particles emerge and vanish in a perpetual rhythm. Even in complete emptiness, the universe is active, responsive, and profoundly alive. Nothing, in its deepest sense, is a place of potential, the unseen foundation of everything that is. This is the realm of zero-point energy, the energy that persists even when a system is cooled to absolute zero. It is a soft, persistent hum beneath all that exists, the quiet pulse of reality itself. Particles may vanish into nothingness, but their energy remains, fluctuating in imperceptible waves that ripple across space and time. These subtle vibrations carry information about the universe, a delicate reminder that emptiness is not absence, but presence in disguise. The secret life of nothing is paradoxical. It is both empty and full, silent and dynamic, invisible yet essential. Virtual particles constantly emerge from this nothingness, living brief, ephemeral lives before returning to the void. They appear and disappear so rapidly that their existence is imperceptible to the human senses, yet their influence is profound. They affect the forces of nature, the behavior of matter, and even the shape of the cosmos. The vacuum is not passive. It is a participant in creation, a silent architect of reality. Even the concept of nothing challenges our ordinary perceptions. In classical physics, a vacuum might be thought of as mere emptiness, a blank stage upon which matter and energy perform. But quantum mechanics reveals that this stage is alive with activity. Fluctuations in the vacuum can generate particles, influence forces, and even give rise to phenomena such as the Casimir effect, where two uncharged plates in a vacuum experience a gentle attraction due to these subtle quantum disturbances. Nothingness in its secret life exerts presence, influence, and order. There is a quiet poetry in this. Nothingness teaches patience, subtlety, and the unseen rhythms of existence. Just as the vacuum hums softly beneath the visible universe, so too do unseen forces shape our lives, guiding growth, change, and understanding in ways that are often imperceptible. The emptiness around us is never truly empty. It is full of possibilities, the silent potential for new stars, new particles, new moments to emerge. In human experience, nothing mirrors our own inner voids, the spaces between thoughts, the quiet moments of reflection, the empty pauses in conversation. These moments are not wasted. They are alive with possibility. Within the stillness, insight arises, creativity blooms, and connections form. The universe, in its secret life of nothing, teaches us that absence is not loss, but preparation. Emptiness is a fertile ground, a canvas awaiting the brush of existence. Even on a cosmic scale, the vacuum holds stories. Dark energy which fills space and drives the accelerated expansion of the universe is part of this unseen, almost mystical nothing. It is everywhere and nowhere, subtle yet profound, shaping the ultimate fate of galaxies, stars, and planets. In this invisible expanse, the universe carries forward, expanding into infinity while holding tightly to the secret rhythm of its own being. Nothingness also reminds us of impermanence. Every particle, every photon, every fleeting phenomenon ultimately arises from and returns to this subtle background. The boundaries between something and nothing blur, revealing the intimate connection between existence and absence. Even when a star dies, when matter collapses, when energy disperses, the vacuum endures, a quiet witness to creation and dissolution. Nothing is the cradle in which all things are born, and the echo into which they return. In meditation, one can perceive a reflection of this cosmic nothing. When the mind settles, when thought slows and the heart rests, one can feel the soft vibration of being beneath awareness. Like the zero-point energy of the universe, consciousness itself hums in subtle, invisible patterns. Moments of stillness are not emptiness. They are alive, fertile with reflection, possibility, and insight. In recognizing the secret life of nothing, we glimpse the quiet order that sustains all life. The vacuum is patient. It carries the memory of all that has passed and the potential for all that may come. It is an infinite reservoir holding the blueprint of reality, the structure of matter, and the hidden energy that gives rise to all phenomena. Even the tiniest fluctuation may ripple across the cosmos, subtly shaping the unfolding of creation. Nothing in this sense is not absence. It is the soft, enduring hum beneath the symphony of existence. So, when you close your eyes and let thought dissolve, imagine the universe as a living field of quiet energy. Picture invisible vibrations pulsing gently beneath the stars, beneath matter, beneath life itself. Sense the infinite potential that surrounds every atom, every moment, every possibility. Nothing is not empty. It is the soft, sustaining breath of the cosmos. A reminder that even in silence, the universe lives, moves, and creates. And in this quiet understanding, there is wonder, there is peace, and there is connection. The secret life of nothing whispers that the universe is never still, never empty, never absent. It is alive, full, and patiently awaiting the next moment of creation, the next flicker of light, the next particle to emerge. Nothing is everything in disguise, and in its subtle presence we find the infinite heartbeat of reality itself. Reality, as we perceive it, is not merely given. It is co-created, delicate and responsive, shaped by attention, awareness, and the act of observation itself. In the quantum world, particles do not exist in fixed states until they are measured. Until they are seen, they drift in a haze of possibility, simultaneously in many states at once. Observation does not just reveal the universe. It participates in forming it, gently collapsing the infinite potential into a single, tangible reality. Imagine a single photon traveling across the void. For countless moments it is a wave, a cloud of probabilities spreading across space, embodying every path it might take. Yet, the instant it is observed, perhaps striking a detector, perhaps touching a particle in a faraway atom, the possibilities collapse. The wave condenses into a particle, a specific reality born from the act of seeing. The universe waits in quiet anticipation for attention to shape it, reminding us that observation is not passive. It is an act of creation, an intimate dialogue between consciousness and existence. This idea is most famously illustrated by the double-slit experiment, in which particles fired toward two slits behave like waves when unobserved, forming interference patterns as if they explore every route simultaneously. Yet when a measurement is made, they choose a single path, as if the universe itself responds to curiosity. The world is not fixed. It is a soft, fluid dance moving to the rhythm of attention, collapsing from possibility into form as consciousness touches it. Observation, therefore, is a profound act. It is not merely the perception of what exists, but a subtle partnership with the unfolding of reality. Each glance, each focus, each moment of awareness guides the collapse of potential into actuality. We are co-creators, whether we realize it or not. In noticing, we shape. In witnessing, we participate. The cosmos does not unfold independently. It responds to engagement, to the quiet insistence of perception. Even the simplest interactions ripple outward. At the quantum scale, observation need not be conscious in the human sense. Any interaction, any measurement, any entanglement between systems can collapse possibilities. Yet when conscious beings observe, we are part of a dialogue that spans the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. Awareness and existence are intertwined, mirrors of one another, each shaping the other in silent, intimate collaboration. There is a humbling beauty in this. The universe is not distant, indifferent, or immutable. It is alive to attention, sensitive to observation, a responsive canvas upon which consciousness paints the patterns of reality. To witness a particle is to participate in creation. To focus, to reflect, to notice, is to invite the universe to show itself in a particular way. This, not metaphysical speculation. It is the profound truth revealed by quantum mechanics. The realization that we are more than spectators, and that the act of seeing is inseparable from the act of being. Observation also connects deeply with human experience. Memory, perception, and attention shape our inner worlds just as they shape the outer. The lens through which we view the universe influences not only what we notice, but the reality we inhabit. Each thought is a subtle observation, each focus a soft collapse of potential into form. Our consciousness echoes the laws of the cosmos. It observes, it participates, it creates. Even time itself becomes flexible in this framework. What we call past and future are intertwined with observation. The act of noticing the present moment brings coherence to a cloud of possibilities. Events are not fixed until they are observed, and sometimes they are influenced by subsequent interactions, as if the future and the past converse through the quiet mediation of observation. Life becomes less deterministic, more poetic, a delicate interplay of awareness and reality. In the quantum world, entanglement amplifies this principle. Particles separated by vast distances remain connected, influencing one another in ways that transcend classical space and time. Observation of one particle instantaneously affects its counterpart, collapsing the wave of possibilities across the expanse. The act of seeing is a bridge between distant points, a connection that knits the universe together, reminding us that awareness itself is a thread woven into the fabric of reality. Meditatively, we can consider our own lives in this light. Every moment we pay attention, every thought we nurture, every perception we engage with contributes to the unfolding of reality around us. We are not passive inhabitants of a pre-written world. We are co-authors, gently shaping the contours of existence with our attention. The universe is alive to observation, and in recognizing this, we begin to move with intention, harmony, and care. Even in stillness we create. By focusing inward, by observing our thoughts and feelings, we collapse the potential chaos of the mind into clarity. Awareness, in this sense, is the meditation of existence. The quantum principle extends beyond particles and waves. It reaches into consciousness itself, teaching us that attention is a soft, powerful act of creation, shaping reality both within and around us. And so, when you rest quietly, allow yourself to sense the universe responding to your awareness. Imagine particles dancing in anticipation, possibilities unfolding, waves collapsing, and light taking form at the moment of observation. Feel the intimacy of the cosmos alive to your gaze, participating with every breath, every thought, every conscious attention. Observation is not passive. It is sacred, creative, and profoundly alive. In this understanding, there is wonder, humility, and gentle empowerment. We are never separate from the world we perceive. Every glance, every focus, every mindful awareness is a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. And in observing, we awaken the universe, revealing it softly, beautifully, as it always has been. A dance of potential and presence, a living dialogue between consciousness and reality. There is a place at the far edge of understanding where the mind grows still, where reason loosens its grip, and where logic begins to dissolve into wonder. It is a quiet threshold, a liminal space between comprehension and awe, where the universe no longer conforms to the familiar rules we rely upon. Here, at the edge where logic sleeps, quantum reality whispers its secrets, and we are invited to perceive the world not as it is labeled, but as it is felt. Fluid, strange, and alive. Imagine standing on a cliff, overlooking the infinite night sky. Stars shimmer, galaxies swirl, and the darkness stretches beyond imagination. In this vastness, familiar patterns blur, and the mind's desire for certainty softens. It is here that quantum mechanics lives, where particles behave unpredictably, waves fold over themselves, and matter seems to exist in states both here and not here, both now and yet to be. The universe in this realm is not a mechanism, but a story, a dream, a subtle melody vibrating beneath the fabric of reason. At this edge, equations themselves take on the quality of poetry. Symbols that once seemed rigid become fluid, resonating with imagery, possibility, and wonder. Wave functions ripple with quiet song, probabilities hum with potential, and uncertainty is not a limitation but a doorway. Logic, in its traditional form, cannot contain this domain. It must yield to intuition, to imagination, to the gentle embrace of not knowing. Here, paradoxes are not problems. They are invitations to sense the universe differently, to feel its subtleties and contradictions without demanding resolution. Consider Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which tells us that certain properties of particles, like position and momentum, cannot both be precisely known. It is not a flaw nor a shortcoming of measurement. It is a reflection of reality itself. The very act of observation changes what is observed, and in doing so opens a space where exactitude gives way to fluidity. Certainty dissolves, and we are left with a landscape of possibilities, each one delicate, overlapping, and interconnected. To dwell here is to feel the world in its full richness, a place where the familiar dissolves and the subtle patterns of existence emerge. The edge where logic sleeps is also a meditation on creativity and imagination. It is the space where great discoveries are made, where scientists, philosophers, and dreamers alike peer beyond the veil of convention and glimpse something larger, stranger, and more beautiful than any formula alone could convey. Quantum entanglement, superposition, and non-locality all live at this threshold. They defy linear causality, challenge intuitive notions of space and time, and reveal a universe that is more like a dance than a machine. Understanding in this realm is not an act of control, but of surrender, a willingness to move with the rhythm of something greater than the self. Even the act of thinking becomes a mirror of quantum phenomena here. Our minds, constrained by language and habit, struggle to grasp reality in its fullness. Yet when we relax the grip of certainty, when we allow paradox to be, we enter a state of resonance with the universe. Thoughts unfold like waves, ideas intertwine like entangled particles, and insight arises from the quiet interplay of known and unknown. Logic, while useful, is no longer a boundary. It is a tool within a greater, fluid tapestry of understanding. At the edge where logic sleeps, time also bends. Past, present, and future appear less rigid, overlapping in a subtle, flowing continuum. Events ripple forward and backward, cause and effect intertwine, and the observer is inseparable from the observed. Here, consciousness becomes a partner in the unfolding of reality, sensing patterns that transcend linear sequence, perceiving harmonies that reason alone cannot articulate. The universe hums quietly, inviting the mind to rest, to notice, and to feel the soft pulse of existence without the need to categorize, measure, or define. There is a profound sense of humility in this threshold. The cosmos is vast, strange, and intricate, and our ordinary logic captures only a fraction of its truths. Yet this limitation is not discouraging. It is liberating. By stepping to the edge where certainty dissolves, we are freed to experience the universe more fully, to feel its subtleties, to participate in its quiet rhythms, and to witness the delicate interplay of light, matter, and possibility. Logic is not abandoned. It is expanded, integrated into a broader awareness that accommodates mystery, awe, and wonder. Even in everyday life, moments of intuition, inspiration, or profound insight are echoes of this boundary. When a solution appears suddenly, when a pattern emerges without conscious reasoning, when a fleeting image sparks understanding, we are brushing against the edge where logic sleeps. The universe reveals itself not through forceful analysis, but through subtle resonance, allowing us to sense connections that defy conventional explanation. This is the quantum whisper, the quiet invitation to dwell in possibility, and the reminder that reality is far richer than it seems. In this space, dualities resolve softly. Certainty and uncertainty, presence and absence, wave and particle, light and shadow, all are embraced simultaneously. The mind, freed from rigid expectations, begins to resonate with the underlying harmony of existence. Here, science and poetry merge, observation and imagination entwine, and the universe is revealed not only as a system to be studied, but as a living, breathing entity, infinitely intricate and endlessly wondrous. And so, when you rest, let yourself approach this edge. Feel the gentle dissolution of certainty, the soft unfolding of possibilities, the quiet invitation to perceive beyond reason. The universe is waiting not for understanding alone, but for the openness to witness, to experience, and to resonate with the subtle symphony of existence. At the edge where logic sleeps, the cosmos whispers its deepest secrets. And in listening, we begin to feel the infinite, quiet heartbeat of reality itself. Within the vast architecture of the cosmos, there is a quiet resonance between the quantum world and consciousness itself. Neurons fire, thoughts emerge, synapses spark, all in patterns that mirror the delicate, strange laws governing the subatomic realm. Our minds, in their infinite complexity, are miniature universes, tiny theaters where waves collapse, probabilities unfold, and entanglement whispers across synaptic distances. In this way, human thought is a reflection of the quantum dance, a mirror of the universe's subtle poetry. Imagine a dream unfolding. Images shimmer and fold into one another. Events appear simultaneously, and time is fluid, not linear. Reality feels soft, mutable, and alive. This is the quantum nature of the mind. Layers of possibility, waves of potential collapsing into conscious perception, creating the reality of experience. Just as a photon state is not fixed until observed, so too do our thoughts exist in multiple potential forms until attention settles on one. The mind, like the universe, is both uncertain and profoundly ordered, both chaotic and exquisitely harmonious. Neuroscience hints at this mysterious connection. Brain activity at its deepest scale is influenced by the same laws that govern particles, superposition, entanglement, and wave interference. While neurons operate within classical physics, the substrates upon which they act, the electrons, the ions, the molecules, dance to quantum rhythms. This hidden choreography may shape perception, memory, and intuition, suggesting that our inner experience is a soft echo of the universe's underlying structure. Consciousness itself, in this sense, is a quantum symphony, vibrating with the same laws that guide the smallest particles. Consider creativity. A thought may emerge suddenly, unbidden, like a particle collapsing from a wave of potential. Ideas intertwine and interfere, possibilities overlaying each other, until one pattern resonates and becomes tangible. The mind is a landscape of probabilities, a living manifestation of quantum principles. Dreams, too, reflect this dance, surreal, non-linear, and full of symbolic resonance. They collapse possibility into experience, revealing connections and truths that defy linear reason. In dreaming, we inhabit a quantum theater, where reality is malleable, fluid, and infinitely poetic. The infinite mind is not limited to individual thought. Our consciousness interacts with the world just as quantum particles interact with one another. Attention, focus, and awareness are acts of gentle collapse, shaping both perception and, subtly, the reality we experience. Every observation we make of others, of events, of nature, is an act of quantum creation. In this sense, human life participates in the universe's ongoing unfolding. Minds are not separate from the cosmos. They are threads woven into the quantum fabric, sensitive to patterns entangled across the web of existence. Even memory has a quantum quality. Recalling an event is not merely replaying it like a recording. Instead, memory reconstructs, interferes, and reshapes experience. Each act of remembering collapses the wave of potential memories into a singular narrative, while simultaneously leaving traces of other possibilities unobserved, quietly influencing future recollection. Consciousness is not static. It is a dynamic interplay of probabilities, just as the universe itself constantly balances uncertainty with form. Emotion, too, is a reflection of quantum subtlety. Love, longing, fear, and joy all ripple through the mind like waves, overlapping, interfering, and sometimes creating patterns that cannot be predicted. They exist in the fluid space of potential, until expressed, until observed, until felt. Like particles influenced by observation, our emotions are both subjective and deeply connected to the fabric of reality. We are quantum beings, alive with probability, interacting with each other and the cosmos in ways subtle, beautiful, and mysterious, even at the level of collective consciousness. Patterns emerge that echo quantum principles. Societies, cultures, and ideas evolve in networks of interaction, reflecting a vast entanglement of minds across time and space. Innovations appear, spread, and crystallize, much like the collapse of possibilities in the quantum field. In every act of creation, artistic, scientific, or emotional, the infinite mind participates in a dialogue with the universe, shaping reality while being shaped in return. To meditate on this is to sense the deep continuity between self and cosmos. The same patterns that govern electrons and photons subtly animate thought, perception, and imagination. Our minds are not separate laboratories. They are microcosms, reflections, and resonances of the quantum universe. Every insight, every intuition, every fleeting spark of awareness is a miniature echo of the grand symphony playing across the cosmos. In this quiet alignment, we recognize that consciousness is both observer and participant, a soft bridge between the infinite and the immediate, the potential and the real. As you rest in thought or stillness, imagine your mind as a quantum ocean, waves of possibility folding into form with each passing moment. Every dream, every thought, every fleeting sense of intuition is part of a larger, infinite rhythm, echoing the patterns of particles, waves, and fields that underpin all existence. Your consciousness participates in the dance of reality itself, entangled with everything, sensitive to subtle harmonies, capable of shaping and being shaped by the world around you. And in this quiet realization, there is a profound calm. To know that your mind mirrors the quantum universe is to feel connection, wonder, and belonging. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are a reflection of its infinite possibilities, a dreamer within the larger dream, a participant in the ongoing unfolding of reality itself. Quantum dreams of the infinite mind remind us that awareness is sacred, perception is creative, and the universe itself lives not only in the stars, but in the quiet, luminous dance of thought within each of us. There is a quiet moment as the cosmos drifts in its endless rhythm, when the universe seems to pause as if taking a breath. In that stillness, every particle, every wave, every photon, every heartbeat of energy aligns in a subtle, infinite contemplation. The universe itself, in its vast complexity, seems to think, to dream, to fold possibilities into form with a tender deliberation that mirrors consciousness. Even in the silence of space, the cosmos is alive with awareness, attentive to its own unfolding. Imagine standing beneath a canopy of stars, stretching across the velvet black of night. Each star flickers softly, distant yet intimate, a reflection of countless processes weaving themselves into harmony. Galaxies spin with slow grace, nebulae shimmer in quiet hues, and dark matter drift silently, unseen yet essential. In this grand architecture there is a pulse, subtle, eternal, and pervasive. It is as if the universe, in every atom, every quantum fluctuation, and every gravitational ripple, is thinking softly and endlessly, its thoughts sculpting reality with delicate precision. The very act of observation reverberates across existence. Particles emerge from the haze of potential, wave functions collapse, and the intricate lattice of the cosmos unfolds moment by moment. Each star's light, each planet's orbit, each electron's spin is a response to subtle interconnections, a dance in which the universe participates with itself. In this way, the cosmos is not passive. It is a living thinker, aware through the interplay of forces, energy, and probability, quietly contemplating its own infinite possibilities. Even time itself seems to breathe in this vast meditation. Past and future fold upon one another, each moment holding echoes of what has been and hints of what might come. Quantum uncertainty reminds us that the universe is not a rigid machine, but a living, responsive entity. Possibilities exist simultaneously, and reality emerges through a gentle collapse and intimate negotiation between what is, what could be, and what is perceived. Every flicker of awareness, every observation, every interaction contributes to this ongoing reflection. The universe thinks not like we do, with words or images, but through subtle patterns of existence. Waves interfere, particles entangle, fields resonate, all in a dialogue that transcends space, time, and matter. There is intention in this, not in the sense of conscious thought, but as an intrinsic unfolding, a self-organizing intelligence that carries the cosmos from moment to moment. In every quark, every photon, every galaxy, the universe contemplates its own nature, its own possibilities, and its own intricate design. Consider the life cycle of a star. From a diffuse cloud of gas and dust, it condenses, ignites, and burns with radiant intensity before collapsing, returning matter to the cosmos for future creation. This process is not chaotic. It is an elegant rhythm, a meditation in energy and matter, a cosmic reflection of persistence and transformation. In each star's life, the universe expresses awareness of balance, rhythm, and the infinite cycle of creation and dissolution. Even in death, matter is recycled, energy persists, and the universe thinks again through the subtle reshaping of potential. In the quantum realm, this cosmic thought becomes even more intimate. Entangled particles across light years respond to one another instantaneously, as if aware of a shared destiny. The vacuum itself, once considered empty, pulses with zero-point energy, a quiet hum beneath reality, a reservoir of infinite possibility. The universe thinks not just in grand arcs, but in every microscopic fluctuation, every flicker of energy, every imperceptible vibration that sustains existence. Awareness, in this sense, is woven into the very fabric of reality. This understanding invites reflection on our own role within the cosmos. We are not mere observers, we are participants. Each act of attention, each choice, each conscious breath engages with the subtle thinking of the universe. Our awareness mirrors the quantum nature of reality. Possibilities collapse into moments, decisions shape outcomes, and perception co-creates the unfolding of existence. We are, in essence, tiny reflections of the universe contemplating itself, threads of consciousness woven into the infinite fabric of being. There is profound comfort in this. The universe, in all its immensity, is not indifferent. It moves with care, persistence, and an elegant subtlety, allowing galaxies to form, stars to shine, and life to emerge. Its thoughts are expressed in the intricate balance of forces, the gentle hum of fields, and the tender choreography of probability. Even in darkness, even in silence, the cosmos is alive with reflection, dreaming itself into being moment by moment as we rest. We can imagine the universe thinking softly, as if it were aware of our presence, our curiosity, and our wonder. Each breath we take is a resonance with its rhythm, each moment of stillness a participation in its reflection. Consciousness in us and in the cosmos is not separate. It is intertwined, a soft dialogue between self and infinite, observer and observed, thought and creation. The universe, like a patient mind, considers its own vastness with care, shaping existence with gentle attention and tender precision. And in this quiet understanding, there is a sense of belonging. We are part of this infinite contemplation, small yet significant, fleeting yet eternal. The universe thinks once more in every particle, every wave, every heartbeat of energy, and in recognizing this, we realize that we too are part of its endless meditation. Reality is not fixed. It is alive, responsive, and intimately connected. In its subtle, patient, infinite thinking, we find the echo of our own consciousness, the reflection of our own awareness, and the soft assurance that we are never separate from the cosmos. In the final moments of reflection, imagine the universe breathing through you, thinking through every atom, every spark of energy, every glimmer of light. Feel the resonance of existence, the subtle hum of creation, and the infinite patient contemplation that shapes reality itself. And in this quiet communion, there is peace, wonder, and the comforting knowledge that the universe continues to think, softly and endlessly through you, through everything, and through the boundless eternal night of existence.